On the one side of this decision is a dark path into a deep unknown. On the other side of this decision is the old path waiting to take me home.
Our focus here is on how athletes make decisions under pressure and how to get good at making decisions through experience. What is decision making? Choosing between two or more options, and hopefully the better one, is pretty much decision making. The reasoning behind these decisions can help us understand the strategy behind the decision making. Speaking of sporting decisions, we start talking about the perceptual cognitive decisions because in a dynamic situation like sports, information cannot be instantaneously processed, but by continuous assessment of the situation while receiving more information every second, resulting in additional time to process that consequential new information. Also, the decisions to respond to situations can be made during the game or can follow protocols that train athletes to react to various scenarios as coached during practice games. This also depends on the knowledge, experience, and training the athlete has received. Let's assume the following example of roundabouts on roads while driving. Despite the fact that most people don't indicate while going into and out of roundabouts, you often get a sense of what people are going to do. People might slow down when someone else speeds up. Something about how a car is driving suggests what we are going to do. When we think about the kind of information people use in these circumstances, it's usually the speed of your own car, the speed of another car already in or entering the roundabout, the road positioning, and other information like weather condition, where the driver is looking, and ambient light. We have learned some unconscious motive that is difficult to explain as they're governed by these implicit heuristics we have learned over time. When you're stuck behind a beginner driver, they don't have these heuristics evolved and learned, so they're analyzing the situation in a very conscious, analytical way, and quite quickly we see that this process is much slower, and slower to the extent that it sometimes becomes a problem. Similarly, in team sports, experience and practice help players develop these heuristics that help them subconsciously make decisions that work well. For example, in soccer, looking at the way a player is going to kick the ball, we tend to judge where the ball would travel in the next instant. However, when we look at a penalty shootout in soccer, the idea is to fool the keeper or trick them into believing we are going to shoot in a different direction than we are going to execute. However, over time, watching and analyzing game after game, it prepares us to learn these heuristics and predict them. While playing as a part of a team, we learn how another player moves, their speed, their agility, and other capabilities, while also learning what we're up against while analyzing the opponent's moves. In sports, there's a rich history of videos, post and pre-match analysis, and blogs for discussion that provide us with this vast information that helps us improve our own game in a way that we interact with our team members and predict the opposing team's moves. We see a number of choices available to us. The complexity of the choices, as in simple movements versus highly difficult maneuvers. All this plays into the dynamic nature of the game, from the way a spinner turns a cricket ball.
Raised eyebrow and a little nod, and that's all it needed. And it's not until later, until I have a look at the replay, I realised how far it actually turned. I thought it was just a leg break that turned a little bit.
Well, that has turned about 2.5 feet. Gadding can't believe his eyes. What a start for Shane.
To a striker curling the ball in soccer. The one big difference between engineering and sports is that in the realm of engineering, most of the information acquired lives and dies within an individual, a team, or at most the particular standalone organization working on the project. The wealth of knowledge collected over time through failures, successes, and surprises are often learned through personal experiences. This is where the analogy from sports would make a huge difference with how decisions and strategies are made in organizations. Just like how athletes learn studying the motions and strategies of the game, engineers too learn from resources, literature, their own mistakes to continuously improve their processes and also the dynamics within a team. Looking past intellectual property constraints, there is a need for organizations and industries to develop a database of knowledge that is available to be accessed by other organizations to enable a symbiotic relationship in a competitive environment. This would help us avoid unexpected pitfalls, reduce lead times, and enable safe and successful products in the future. This video was created by Sharath Ramachandran for the Design Decision Making class in the fall of 2018 at the Penn State University under Dr. Chris McComb.